What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to give my quick spoiler-free thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion, as I had a chance to see it a few days ago. So basically, my background on the Jurassic films is that I really love the original. Obviously that's the one that's considered to be the best among fans, because it really has a great cast, it has a great score, it's Steven Spielberg directed, it has a great sense of tension and groundbreaking visual effects, of course. Not just CGI and digital effects, but also a lot of practical stuff that looks really great and still holds up to this day. And the sequels are, they are what they are basically. They're not great, they have lots of problems, lots of issues, but people like them for what they are for different reasons. Now, as for the Jurassic World films, I have never been a fan of that franchise. I didn't like the first movie, I thought it was cheesy, it felt Marvel-fied somehow, like it just wasn't having the tension or the realism of the original films. And Fallen Kingdom, the less said about that movie the better. And sadly, Dominion kind of reminds you a lot of what happened in that movie because of what it has to deal with. And of course, the girl Maisie Lockwood, the clone, we actually find out is something else, and the idea of dinosaurs roaming freely through our world. Now, I'll just try to get my thoughts out of here as quickly as possible. Basically, I thought this movie was sort of a mess. At no point in time was I really engaged with it. There was maybe one or two scenes that I was like, wow, that was kind of cool, and obviously it was nice to see the original cast members returning, although we don't really see too much of Jeff Goldblum in this one. I thought he was kind of sidelined in favor of seeing more of Dr. Sattler and Grant, which is fine because, those are characters that haven't really appeared in a long time, and Goldblum had a cameo in the last movie, but it was just a little bit weird that he was sort of the one of the trio that was a bit sidelined. Now, in terms of the plot here, one thing that I was really disappointed by is this movie kind of squanders the idea of how do people really feel about dinosaurs living amongst us again. They really don't go too far into exploring that idea. They do in the beginning of the movie, maybe the first 15 minutes, the opening scenes, but then after that the movie divulges into something else completely, and the storyline really goes away from that. So that was something that was kind of disappointing to me. Especially, I was hoping to see how the old characters would feel about that, because we already know how Claire and Owen sort of, have experienced that, but I was really hoping to see Dr. Grant's approach to it and Ian Malcolm's really thoughts on that too, but we don't really get too much of that, sadly. So overall, if you're a really die-hard fan of these Jurassic World movies, then you'll probably get some enjoyment out of this. If you're like me, where you're pretty mixed or lukewarm or just not really a fan of them at all, I don't think you're gonna like this movie. I honestly can't recommend it to someone who's been, mixed or lukewarm on these Jurassic World films thus far. I don't think it provides a satisfying conclusion to the 6-film arc, that other franchises have. It's just kind of a shame. It's a disappointing movie to end this series on. Obviously, they're not going to end it here. There's probably going to be more films, but this is the end of the sort of original storyline that began in the first Jurassic Park movie. Where it goes from here, only time will tell. So drop your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think of this movie? I was not a fan of it. I'm probably not going to see it again. It's the kind of movie that I would say, if you're really curious about it, just wait till it hits streaming. There's nothing amazing that you need to see in the theater for it, sadly. And it's a movie about dinosaurs. Normally this kind of movie you'd be like, yes, go see it in the theater, but honestly there's nothing crazy here that you have to see on a big screen. If you guys are new to the channel and you like this video, subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I drop new content. And if you want to hit me up on social media to talk about this movie, you can find me in the links down below. With all that being said, I'll catch you guys next time.